Hey, sleep-deprived parents. If you're watching this while bouncing, swaying, or doing that weird half squat that magically calms your baby, I see you. It might feel like your little one cries for no reason, but trust me, there's always a reason. Crying is how babies communicate, and once you crack the code, everything gets easier. Today, we're decoding those cries and, more importantly, giving you proven techniques to soothe them. Whether it's colic, hunger, or overtiredness, I've got you covered. By the end of this video, you'll recognize different cries and have go-to soothing methods that actually work. Let's dive in. Understanding crying patterns. First things first, let's talk about the main reasons babies cry and how to recognize each type of cry. Understanding this is like learning a new language, and it takes some practice, but you'll get there. Hunger is usually the most common reason for crying, especially in the early weeks. Hunger cries typically start soft and low, then become increasingly rhythmic and intense. Look for early hunger cues like rooting, putting hands to mouth, and smacking lips. These happen before crying starts. If your baby calms immediately when feeding begins, you've correctly identified a hunger cry. Discomfort cries are usually sharp and sudden. This could be a wet diaper, being too hot or cold, or uncomfortable clothing. The cry might stop and start as the discomfort comes and goes. Check the basics: diaper, temperature, and whether clothing is pinching or rubbing somewhere. Overtiredness has a particular sound. It's often a whiny, nasal cry that builds in intensity. Your baby might also rub their eyes, pull at their ears, or turn away from stimulation. The tricky part? An overtired baby often fights sleep harder. Look for yawns, decreased activity, and glazed eyes as early signs of tiredness before the crying begins. Gas pain produces a sudden, high-pitched cry, often accompanied by drawing up of the legs, clenched fists, and a tight tummy. These cries tend to be sharp, but may settle briefly before starting again as gas pain comes in waves. Boredom or seeking attention has a softer, whiny quality that starts and stops. Your baby might cry for a bit, then pause to see if you're coming, then start again. They typically quiet down quickly once engaged. Soothing techniques that work. Now for the good stuff, specific techniques that can help soothe your crying baby. Let's start with the famous 5S method developed by pediatrician Dr. Harvey Karp. First S, swaddle. A snug swaddle mimics the feeling of being in the womb and prevents the startle reflex from waking your baby. Make sure it's secure, but not too tight around the hips. The key is to get the arms straight and snug against the body. Many babies fight the swaddle initially, but then calm down once properly wrapped. Second S, side or stomach position. Support their head and neck as you hold them in this position. This position helps with digestion and can relieve gas pressure. Remember, this is only for when you're holding baby. Never place them to sleep in this position. Third S, shush. Loud, rhythmic shushing sounds mimic the whooshing sounds of blood flow in the womb. Don't be afraid to shush loudly. The womb is actually about as loud as a vacuum cleaner. You can also use white noise machines, apps, or even YouTube videos with womb sounds. The key is consistent, rhythmic sound that's loud enough to be heard over the crying. Fourth S, swing. Gentle, rhythmic movement helps trigger your baby's calming reflex. This can be swaying, bouncing gently, or rocking. The movement should be small and quick rather than wide and slow. Support your baby's head and neck as you move. Many parents find that a yoga ball is perfect for this bouncing motion. Fifth S, suck. Sucking has incredible calming properties for babies. Offer a pacifier, clean finger, or feeding if appropriate. Some babies prefer specific pacifier shapes, so it might take trying a few to find the right one. Now let's talk about the magic hold, or colic carry, that many parents swear by. Hold your baby face down along your forearm, with their head near your elbow and your hands supporting between their legs. Use your other hand for additional support or to gently pat their back. It's particularly effective during sleep times. Gas and colic relief tips. Let's talk specifically about gas and colic, which can cause some of the most heart-wrenching cries. First, proper burping technique is essential. There are 3 main positions that work well. The shoulder hold. Hold your baby upright with their chin resting on your shoulder. Support their bottom with one hand and gently pat or rub their back with the other. The sitting position. Sit your baby on your lap, leaning slightly forward. Support their chest and head with one hand while patting their back with the other. The lap position. Lay your baby face down across your knees, making sure their head is higher than their chest. It's exhausting for everyone involved. The football hold can be very effective for colic. Lay your baby along your forearm with their legs straddling your elbow and their head supported in your hand. Have their tummy pressing against your forearm, providing gentle pressure. The colic curl is another helpful position. Hold your baby facing away from you, supporting their jaw with one hand while curling their knees toward their chest with your other hand. A warm, not hot, water bottle or heating pad wrapped in a towel and placed on baby's tummy can help relieve gas pain. Always check the temperature carefully and never leave it on unattended. Infant massage can work wonders for gas and colic. With your fingertips, trace the letter I down the left side of baby's abdomen. Then trace an upside-down L from the right side across and down the left side. Finally, trace an upside-down U, starting from the lower right, up, across, and down the left side. When to seek help and CTA. While crying is normal, there are times when it might signal something that needs medical attention. Here are some signs that your baby's crying might need a doctor's evaluation. Excessive crying along with fever can indicate infection. Any fever over 100.4 degrees Fahrenheit, 38 degrees Celsius, in a baby under 3 months warrants immediate medical attention. If crying is accompanied by vomiting, especially projectile vomiting, or if your baby is refusing multiple feedings, call your doctor. Change in crying pattern. If your typically easygoing baby suddenly cries inconsolably, something might be wrong. Speaking of reflux, silent reflux often gets missed because it doesn't always involve spitting up. Food sensitivities can also cause excessive crying. For breastfed babies, cow's milk protein in the mother's diet is the most common culprit. Reach out for help from partners, family, friends, or even professional support. Taking care of yourself is an essential part of taking care of your baby. Now it's your turn. I'd love to hear which of these techniques works best for your baby. Drop a comment below sharing your experience or any magical soothing methods I might have missed. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more practical parenting content. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video on baby sleep strategies. Remember, this crying phase doesn't last forever, even though it sometimes feels like it will. You're doing an amazing job, and each day you're learning more about your unique baby. Until next time, happy parenting.